intertwined with that of the World Cup. I think followed in Maradona, those brilliant Brazilians of 1970. What's going to unfold, I wonder, this year? There's the VAR room, sure to play a big part with Nicholas Gale in charge in there, with several assistants to help him as well. We've got Mark Clattenburg standing by in case of any controversy. Surely there won't be any. No at the World Cup. But this could be good. Repeating the 2010 opening game as well. There's the Mexico lineup. Raul Ranjal, preferred to the World Cup legend Memo Ochoa in goal. He's on the bench today. Raul Jimenez in his fourth World Cup gets his first start, and he hopes his first goal as well. Gutierrez used to play the Chicago Fire in the lineup as well. He's been informed in the prep game South Africa. Well, the young Chicago Fire star Emma Kazeli gets a start here. Ron Williams, the goalkeeper for the last 12 years. McQueen is the heartbeat of the team in midfield. And Lyle Foster, just relegated from the English Premier League with Burnley, will be expected to provide some goal for him. Ikram Rangers a maybe slightly surprising selection in what looks quite an attacking line. Latin, of course, is in the World Cup. He scored 5 goals in the World Cup in 12 appearances. But you can just feel the tingling on my stomach here.
Yeah, and also know the stadium very well. It is a daunting place to play. This place was packed 3 hours before the game. When we arrived at 7 a.m., there were thousands and thousands of people outside waiting to get in. Mexico has been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Making history today as the first country ever to be host on 3 occasions. And this is the biggest stadium officially now of this World Cup, holding 80,800, just 200 more than the MetLife near New York, which will stage the final, of course, in mid-July. But there are going to be many, many turns and twists in the road before then. South Africa, they did qualify with Nigeria. That's worth remembering here. Not been in such good form since. Mexico being favourite, so is Raul Jimenez. There has been in the shadows of the World Cups really in the past. Keeps getting selected, never in the starting lineup until now. And he's just announced, or has been announced, he's moving back to his old club, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Mexico in green. For Mexico, as we expected, except perhaps Reyes getting an on right back ahead of Sanchez. Mexico being in good form leading into this round, and then games unbeaten. They played some decent opponents like Portugal and Ghana along the way.
Yeah, and actually part of that, they were in Portland, and there was a lot of dismay amongst the Mexican fans, the media. But they turned that around. Javier Diaz done a great job getting them confident and ready as we head into what will be the biggest moment in all of these players' career.
Suarez spreading the play to Vasquez, who plays in Italy for Genoa. It's an automatic pick for Mexico these days. And he went Profolo to the captain Alvarez. The midfield Alvarez is waiting to pick his 100 points for Mexico. We'll have to wait a bit longer. What an atmosphere.
I've been here a number of times, Ian. I've never seen it like this.
Here's Reyes for the Mexicans. Alvarado looking to skip inside. For the first time, Jamie Adams gets involved for happened. That club played in the FIFA World Cup in the United States last year and did pretty well as well, beating the Asian champions. Also, they only lost 4-3 to Borussia Dortmund, drew with a good Brazilian side, Fluminense. So, South Africa, I think, has to be respected.
You know, interestingly, when you contrast tackle, there are a few things besides the team you're playing against that are against you. One is the altitude, two is small, three the crowd. South Africa, a lot of these players actually play in South Africa. And they play at altitude. They've also been here for 10 days, so they are acclimated. That is not a big advantage. The other thing is South Africa actually like to have the ball. And they will do a good job of forcing Mexico out of their comfort zone. Mexico won't press. South Africa are okay having the ball and throwing it down a little bit that way.
How do you feel along South Africa where Mexico have the ball, go to 5 at the back?
Certainly a foul line will be there. These are dangerous situations. And South Africa conceded a number of goals lately on corner kicks and set pieces. Mexico in their last game against Serbia before the World Cup scored a couple goals on set pieces, so this will be a big part of the game tonight.
Quickly the left foot of Alvarado, but who's the alternative? He wasn't that good.
It's a bit ambitious, trying to shoot from there.
Always so many lofty expectations surrounding Mexico. The best they've ever done is the 2 times they hosted the World Cup, 1970 and 1986. They got to the quarterfinals on both occasions. Jimenez gets Williams. First thing he's had to do, and now he did well.
This all starts with Jimenez heading the ball wide, a good layup, and then he follows into the box. And this is a fantastic save from Williams to parry that line.
Really good hit by Jimenez. That was some save, particularly as the first thing he had to do in the game. Mexico pressing again, looking a little disorganized at the back. And they haven't managed to clear that again either. Possibly they could look to a break here. There's the inspector, maybe there's something, but they've got the last ball right there. Well, they did it. Now Foster rather plucked his lines.
And here's the chance again. Watch Jimenez fall into the box. It's set up perfectly for him. He gets a pretty good purchase on it. Not perfect, a little off the shin. But Williams does a fantastic job to push that line. And just a little warning sign there for Mexico. Be careful. South Africa on the break can be very dangerous. And we just got the last pass wrong, but it could have been a dangerous opportunity.
Yeah, it's probably a bit. It would be understandable, sort of.
I'm sure he's played a lot of difficult environments, but nothing like this.
Fourth time in the World Cup for South Africa, yet to get beyond the group stage. Jimenez, who's recently been the top scorer in the Saudi League with a last day hat-trick. Effectively, get the left hand side in Mexico. think the crowd wanted a corner there. One of the new regulations and interpretations will be that the VAR can take a look, and if an attacking corner is given wrongly, it can be turned into a corner kick.
Well, it should work the other way, because I believe that was a corner kick, and that would have been a massive advantage for Mexico, yeah.
This was Gallardo. He's a quality performer in that position. Third World Cup and try for Mexico for Aguirre. And incidentally, he and his opposite number, Hugo, both played against each other in the 1986 World Cup. Cicero was clear for Aguirre. And the coach's decision to play Quiñones and not Dave on that side is paid off as well. Fantastic piece of work, by the way, by Eric Lira to win that ball off Cicole and set up the opportunity exactly the start Mexico wanted. What can South Africa do about that? They've been pretty much at 6s and 7s so far. Here's Jimenez again, but the referee's going to pull the play back. Missed his challenge there.
Well, a little scrappy for South Africa, obviously, but there's a little cat and mouse going on here. South Africa do want to play, and Mexico, with all the energy and all the momentum from the crowd, have come out pressing. A couple times South Africa looked at the pressure, and it's put Mexico on their heels. But again, one thing you can't do, which Latona just did, is turn the ball over and around. Mexico feast off that. They're going to make them score the hard way. That was much too easy.
Hugo Broz, head coach, has been in charge for 5 years. He will retire after this championship. And I think it's fair to say, Landon, the South African side, the finals, they've not settled yet. Just have to watch the counters. Mexico had a great start for them. And don't forget the US opens its World Cup facing up against Paraguay tomorrow on Fox. After the show at 6 p.m. Eastern, that's 3 p.m. Pacific. And I would imagine you hope that the nation will be glued to that.
Absolutely.
John Strong is still holding on the goal. that US hat.
I also think it's not too early to say, and South Africa have to be careful here. If you lose the game 1-0, you lose by a goal. It doesn't kill your hopes for the rest of the tournament, but you lose by 3, 4, 5. That can put you in a big hole. As goal differential could be a deciding factor as to which team's going through.
Another set piece to defend for the South Africans here. Jimenez was up for that one as well. Didn't quite get over to correct his head. Quality. He's used to it at the end for sure. President of football, watching the left-hand side through the showpiece of the opening ceremony. Prince did the scout for that student, so very smart. To control that. They struggled in the build-up to this game, lost and drew with Panama at home, and then drew 0-0 with Nicaragua as well, and then a 1-1 draw behind closed doors with Jamaica. The coach wasn't really very amused with the way they played. So he didn't come into this with confidence not that high, and he's showing.
As we see a foul here against Hidalgo, and you know, part of the challenge, Ian, is they've broken Mexico a few times as Mexico's come to press, but then they want to go fast and try to hit the kill pass. What they need is to get into Mexico's end, not send the ball, and as we call it the goal, AD1S.
As the referees feel the red down. This is a high-tech World Cup, you know. There are even avatars of the players generated by AI.
I never heard that.
Yeah. South Africa needed to get through the first 20 minutes playing away from home in an atmosphere like this with a team of players who've never played in the World Cup before, none of them, but they conceded early, and really they did press the self-destruct button with that play.
Yeah, I mean, across the world for the history of time, you say don't give them anything early. Let's make them earn it, and South Africa unfortunately gave Mexico a goal. Now they've got an uphill battle.
It's not Wayner. Usually plays every minute in that midfield, a key player for them. He hasn't been able to get into it yet. Namodiba. And the crosses are easily cut out. And there's the first yellow card of this World Cup, and there can't really be too many complaints about it. It's not Buena who gets the yellow card.
Yeah, Mexico do a good job playing under pressure, and Hidalgo, good first touch, slides by Buena. It's absolutely a yellow card.
South Africa nearly cost themselves qualification. They were deducted 3 points for playing Buena when he was supposed to be down against Lesotho. That got turned into a 3-0 defeat, but they made it to this World Cup anyway by the skin of their teeth on the last day. Modiba. And then Stendi places the Congo 5. And will be playing in the All-Star game.
And again, that's what I was talking about here. They do a good job to break the initial line of pressure. You don't have to go fast. Getting next goes in, make them defend a little bit. You can rest a little bit when you have the ball. It's just a little immaturity from South Africa.
I think they started off with looking for a sort of football equivalent of the hips when you get it going.
Well, you can't blame them, right? I mean, you come into this environment and you're playing the opening match of the World Cup. That's no matter they're a very good team. It's not easy. But they're not making it any easier on themselves.
South Korea and Czechia also in this group. They play in Guadalajara tonight with coverage starting at 9 o'clock Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Czechia who have to come through the playoffs to make it battle-hardened by that. Jackie Oakley and Warren Barton will be calling that match for you. It's going to be quite busy the next 5.5 weeks. There are quite a lot of games to be played. 72 in the group phase alone. 12 groups, top 2 go through, and the 8 best third places. Reyes to approval from the big Azteca crowd. I've been delighted with this Mexican start. Quiñones looking nice and sharp, fancy his chances. He's got a stack of goals in Saudi Arabia. Confidence high.
Well, the first touch is excellent, but he should have slid in Fidalgo there, who was running alongside that South African back line. Can't blame them for being a little selfish there after the first goal, but there could have been a big chance for Mexico.
There's Manolo Ochoa waiting to take part in what would be his 6th World Cup. That would also be true of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo at this World Cup. But Ochoa in the past has been quite brilliant for Mexico on many occasions. Years old now, though. Ludau. Open. South Africa just trying to plot a pathway into this game somehow, and that's better from them. Ludau coming inside this time.
It was excellent again by South Africa to break pressure. And again, a link-up play after that. Got their lines crossed. And they got forced the Congo to stop the play.
With the heat of humidity expected, one of the new things at this World Cup will be a hydration break, and that will be coming up quite shortly. Jimenez with a little left. Mexico with a nice rhythm about their run. Alvarado lost the cutting as we stepped over the time. And the officials are trying to make this World Cup one where the dark arts are pounced upon, the ball is in play more often. All that's to be applauded. Let's see how it plays out.
I'm live all the time, but don't worry about it.
He's not winning. AD1S, the latest to find his way into the book. Incidentally, second yellow card will go to VAR. We just checked that the decision was spot on, so that someone isn't sent off mistakenly.
You get a deal with this every day.
Unfortunately.
Smile.
Hello, everybody. Just had a big day. I know you'll never be satisfied, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. We just made a great settlement of the war with Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization of documents, which should get done over the next few days. We'll probably have a sign.
Do not want to any of the skirmishing, which is somewhat hard. Football around the world in more recent times. But we get to the scored by AD1S. 85 goals in as a place.
So in this first one, I'm not going to talk. We're having a watch party. The connection number has to be AT&T. For the office.
What does it take to be the greatest of all time? It's getting everything that everyone better. Here's to the greatest of all time.
Algún radiador. Claro, no se llama.
Usually the U.S. is going to win the World Cup. Hey, you don't believe in miracles?
Igual viene en camino. ¿Cómo está?
Welcome back, the players have taken their 3-minute water break in London, ready to begin again for the 2026 World Cup at the famous Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. And Mexico co-host leading South Africa by goal to none. And yeah,
just saying during the hydration break, outside of giving away the goal, South Africa had a terrible game. They limited the chances, but they've only completed 3 passes in the final third, compared to Mexico's 16. So if they get here and they can complete some passes, then there's some chances. They need to slow down a little bit.
When it comes to people who are they've got 12 players in this squad. They're taking capital under. This is a really defining atmosphere indeed for them. No doubt works in favour of this game. The altitude of Mexico City. And as I understand you, so they're training even higher than that at Pachuca. And there's a lot of areas from Johannesburg, which is pretty high. So the altitude factor is not quite as good as it often is with the Mexicans. Fidalgo did some good work in the build-up there. Quinones really laid back. And here he is again, but a brilliant first half crowned by that goal. So we've just got to be careful of a careless moment at the back, haven't they?
Yeah, it feels comfortable right now for Mexico, but I've seen it many times and been involved in many games, especially in World Cups, where one lapse of concentration and this game is 1-1.
Early inside to Quinones. Almost nice work. Quinones here. The shot was good work. The important block by Sitone. Great from Mexico. We in the past have often flattered to deceive at World Cups. 7 times in a row they went out of the round of 16 and were out of the group stage last time. A little bit unlucky because they got 4 points. Alvarado. Nicely worked. And then Reyes with a cross which is too near to Roman Williams. Williams is on Tottenham Hotspur's books as a kid. Made his career elsewhere. One of the many Mamelodi Sundown players in this squad. Vasquez with the header. Now Leo. Mexico top this group, they could in theory stay in Mexico City or in Mexico itself, whether they put in the quarterfinals. If everything went to form, they might play England here in the round of 16. But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Quite a lot ahead of ourselves.
caught the Mexican fullbacks a couple times on either side with that kind of run, checking through and then turning out behind. So Mexico do need to be a little careful as they're pressing and trying to get a lot of pressure on the ball. That ball behind can be dangerous.
This opening game, I repeat it, the 2010 for Soccer City in Soweto. When South Africa went ahead with a quite brilliant goal from Sabiyo Shabalala, who was the son of a Soweto taxi driver. Rafa Marquez equalised for Mexico after 79 minutes. Marquez was picked to become the next coach after Aguirre. For the Mexicans that time. Here's Monguena. Who scored a brilliant volley goal in one of the build-up matches against Panama to no avail. Slipping the right foot all out the Costa here. And he's not his first errant pass over the first half. And I think we're past the stage fright stage now, aren't we? Trudy Waller there. Nigerian strike up among others.
Yeah, there have been some really good moments from South Africa. But their body language actually after the mistakes is really bad. They look like a team that's been struggling of late.
South Africa come up with this time. Here's Alvarado. He wants to get too much of it, actually. Gutierrez to play inside for Gallagher, and then in the end as he threw the shot, from Williams. Otherwise that could have easily been two.
And Williams did really well, but I thought Coyote was going to hit this first time. You see Jimenez behind the back line. Actually, I'd like to see one of the Mexican players run across the near post. Made it a little too easy for Williams.
Just got the feeling as this goes on, don't you? The Mexicans might just need the comfort blanket of a second goal. Tonight, by the way, the premiere of the FIFA World Cup 2026 After Hours show with James Corden on Fox at midnight local time. Mexican midfield, Williams on the ball again. Give me it, you'll be keep the ball in Mexican possession.
He's better than when he's a line higher like he is right now. Let the three center backs and the wing backs build, and then he can receive it here and face forward. He has to turn it out, he does, but he's better when he's a line higher, so we get another number for the attack.
Hoping that the engineers could do something with that one, but Ocon beats him in the air. Ocon is one of the few European-based players with South Africa who plays in the second tour in Germany with Canada. Resulted in something with Lama Foster there.
It's a little too easy for the Mexican back line. Foster Chelsea just sneaking in between the two center backs. There's that dive down by Williams to his left. Again, a runner across the near post freezes Williams and doesn't allow him to guess and get down so easily.
First time I remember South Africa has failed to have a shot in the opening half hour of a World Cup game. We've still got time to do something about this scoreline. Can be a bit hit and miss on that right hand side, but the coach likes him. Hidalgo plays in Spain for Real Betis. Trying to build up just a little laboured from Mexico and the press. And the challenge on Lira means that possession is turned over. He wants a free kick for that. He's not getting it. Or is he?
Yeah, I think he is. The referee's he's blown the whistle late quite a few times here. This is really a needless challenge from South Africa. They had Lira under pressure after a poor first touch and could have got possession back.
So totally, isn't it, with the challenge? He does rather clatter into him. He did look at a free kick, you're right, Alan. Sun's come out. It's quite a cloudy, rainy morning when we arrived. And as Dan was telling you, it was about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and the place was absolutely packed with kickoff, 6, 7 hours away. Traffic jams. From Mexico, Lira with the love, here he is again. Gutierrez plays it wide. They've not quite built on that good start, have they?
Well, you know what's happened a bit here is the field is drying out. As the sun comes out, it gets harder and harder to cut faster. So it feels like the ball's been stuck a few times under players' speed and not traveling as fast. And that actually hurts the Mexican team.
This used to be a terrible surface in days of old, the Azteca. The one that Brazil won the World Cup in 1970 with Pelé and Tostão, Gerson, Jairzinho, Rivellina and the rest. Pretty bumpy. But what a performance they produced on it. Coming up with his half-time show on Fox. Alvarado. Lira to spread the play. Moudel's header, not that convincing. And he's again. His first ever World Cup goal by the goalkeeper, Williams. He's done that twice in his first half to deny Jimenez.
And this is so difficult for a goalkeeper because if Jimenez does redirect it, you've got to be ready to dive to your right. But you've also got to predict that he doesn't touch it and be ready to dive left. And Williams does both very well.
That might have been a tight goal for offside had he gone in. Because Williams wasn't to know that. Brilliant work from a long-time number one. Now then, Quiñones again. And a shot to the crowd. He does. His block. He's come back out. And then the next one. He's come that close to 2-0. And he has been the big thorn in South Africa's side in this first half. Julian Quiñones.
Well, I was just about to
Kenyon has got 33 goals in 31 matches for Al Qadisiyah in Saudi Arabia. As I say, he was top goal scorer in the league with a hat-trick on the last leg. And you've seen the kind of threat he can provide for Mexico here.
Every meaningful threat so far has come through him.
Reina's here. Ball just given away a little too easily in the forward area by South Africa as they do try to go. Fidalgo to pick it up in the middle of the pitch. Away by Amorkazi. Reina's. Rubio is wide the right back. We will get the corner late on in the half. It would be just like football if after the half we've had and the near misses for Mexico apart from the goal, if South Africa were to come up with an equaliser, that's a tale as old as time. To Mapuena here. Across the small back, it's well defended by Mexico. A long-range effort from Amorkazi can hit them, but that was on the optimistic side from what, best part of 40 yards. Seven times Mexico have featured in the opening game of the World Cup. They've never won any of them. They're definitely on course at the moment to change that. In fact, they were in the very first World Cup match ever played back in 1930, losing 4-1 to France.
You called that game, didn't you?
Yeah. I was already 50 then. It's Kenyon is getting behind. Just a question, I think, of what Hugo Plus can say or do at half-time to maybe get South Africa into this game a bit more.
And that's just quite curious to you because, again, this World Cup is different. We're going to hear this over and over. The 8 best third-place teams will advance to the knockout stage. So if you're South Africa, you don't have to go crazy trying to get a point out of it. And again, of course you want it. But it's much better losing 1 than 2 or 3 or 4-0. That can knock your hopes out there. So I'll be curious how aggressive they are in trying to get that second goal. We'll see that throughout the first round.
Nobody wants to lose the first game of the World Cup. It usually spells trouble. Did it for Argentina 4 years ago, of course, when they lost to Saudi Arabia and ended up walking away with the trophy. There's exceptions to every rule. In 4 minutes of added time, we'll get a half. And then it's with the left. Well, took him out the shot, does, and didn't get hold of it. It was blocked anyway on the way through. And that only is 123rd cap today.
I'm also curious here if the Mexican fans are going to be content at 1-0. You hear a little bit of whistling when South Africa has the ball. They're certainly going to encourage their team to press and try to get the second and third.
Medina taking Alvarado dragged back by his defence here. Great kick is for decision. South Africa look a bit cheesed up about it. But I think it's right, isn't it, this word?
No. I think we're even now because there was one that should have gone Mexico's way earlier.
So they don't correct them if it's effective.
I'm not sure why they did that.
Just attacking corners that can be wiped out, as it were, if it wasn't a corner in the first place. Done some good work, hasn't he, Raul Jimenez?
Yeah, there's so much.
A bit unlucky not to be on the score sheet.
Yeah, also there's so much value in a striker like that, because yes, he does all the scoring, but if South Africa press, the pressers do here. That's what happened, and he's really good at holding the ball, getting out of play.
Gutierrez on the shiny side, yeah.
Quinones again, just been so good, and you needed a little bit of composure. There are a number of things you could have done there. Drag it to your left, open your foot, and curl it inside the right post, roll it across to Raul Jimenez. But the one thing you can't do is let South Africa off the hook like that, and he knows it. Javier's not happy with that.
Yeah, he's seen it all in a very long coaching career. And any unfortunate coach who's definitely had Exeter moving the right way in more recent times. They've won 3 of the last 4 CONCACAF trophies available to them. And that after a rough spell where USA were having the upper hand. And that is half time. 1 goal and other chances too in truth for South Africa. From the start of the half is Julian Quinones with the goal. Mexico leading South Africa by a goal to nil at half-time. Analysis coming right up for you.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is sponsored by Ferrero. Go all in and score big with our match day treats.
In honor of America's 250th, Jeep and Captain America are saluting real Captains of America. Who knows that Captain Newberg, Captain Portales, Captain Murray, Captain Inga, and all those who served our country.
You live, Captain? Brought my own.
Jeep, built for freedom, driven by heroes.
Raise a Rocher to the thrill of the game. The iconic taste of Ferrero Rocher, now in a square.
Buy any 2 Ferrero brands and you could win $1 million.
Early start here for Adams. Sensodyne, brilliant touch. Voltaire now with relief. And Tom's looking to counter-attack. It's fire! Every goal starts with an assist.
This is quite a game.
It'll be a free kick.
Oh, what a goal! Unbridled joy and emotion overflows.
Things in life just belong together. Sundays and self-care. Every Mary needs its petty, so why choose between scent and softness? Dove Body Wash with 24-hour micro moisture gives you both.
New Balance, cuida con There's watching Mexico, and then there's experiencing Mexico with Platinum. Make your trip one to remember with the largest curated global hotel program. And at fine hotels and resorts, complimentary third night offers. And guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout. Because you deserve a little extra stylish time. For a life like no other, you need a card like no other. There's nothing like Platinum.
The FIFA World Cup 2026 halftime show on Fox is presented by Visa.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup is off and running. Mexico leading South Africa 1-0 at the break. The lone goal courtesy of Julian Quiñones, the third of his international career. Let's show you the reaction of Mexico fans in various watch parties everywhere from LA to Houston, and let's take you to Guadalajara as well. How about that? Those are the images that we are all here for. Rebecca Lowe, Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Alexi Lalas with you. We're here in Los Angeles Stadium. A little quieter here, but tomorrow it won't be. The US are going to play their opening game. Gentlemen, let's have a look, shall we, at the first half down there in Mexico City. Salma Hayek, president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino there with a trophy that is all about what happened. Thierry Henry.
The South African team trying to play out from the back. You're going to see here, obviously, William's going to set this one, but I didn't understand what they were trying to do, trying to play out from the back right from the start. I know you have an identity and your philosophy, and we see now the save of Williams, but they invited pressure too early in my liking with Mexico putting pressure, as we're going to see here, Zlatan.
Then you have a situation where receiving the ball there, you need to be 200% in control, because if you miss the ball there, you get a consequence like this. And this is 1-0, beautiful goal for Mexico.
Yeah, look, it's good to know that the romance of playing out of the back is alive and well at the 2026 World Cup. South Africa, they can't create chances, they can't keep possession, they can't stop turning the ball over, and I guess the good news is that it could have been worse, because there were plenty of opportunities for Mexico to make it 2 and 3-0.
So 1-0, and then here's the chance to hit the post.
Yeah, another one, the same guy, Quiñones, being outstanding. We all know what he's been doing in Saudi Arabia. He couldn't find the net here, but he's been outstanding in the first half for Mexico.
Yeah, just the 1 goal in it. Now the other 2 teams in Group A later on tonight in Guadalajara. Song Hyun-min set to lead South Korea against Czechia. Coverage of that one begins at 9 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Now the US in action, as I mentioned, tomorrow against Paraguay. The Americans counting on a big summer from Crystal Palace defender Chris Richards, and we're going to get you ready for that US opener when we come back.
The FIFA World Cup is back, America. And you know who always wins? Bandwagon fans, that's you. Howdy, partners. FIFA World Cup is here. You all in?
Soccer ain't really that thing.
I got barbecue legs. Yeah! Hey, Marshawn, hop on, buddy.
You know I'm more of a football dude.
You can call it that, too? Come on, man. I made you this.
Is that a leg?
A leg of legs. Yeah, looks good.
Hey, that's my lazy.
Get me back up! Jump on the bandwagon!
Do I look like a bandwagon fan?
Do you fancy salt and vinegar?
Why are you talking like that?
That's you! That's what you sound like! Come on! Who cares? Just pick another team!
Stay right, stay right.
Team is wrong side! If this ain't winning the FIFA World Cup, I don't know what is.
Focus on, please. Yes. You should use the Active Cash Visa credit card from Wells Fargo. Good call.
How much to pay?
Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. That's scoring at 2%. The Active Cash Visa credit card from Wells Fargo. Terms apply.
I think they gave me a yellow card once.
Is David's backyard ready for the FIFA World Cup? Maybe he'll build it like Beckham. Paint it like Patricia. Flip it like Rich. Plant it like Paige.
Or watch it all happen just like Josh.
Very happy to help.
Talk show soccer never saw coming. The other football, only on Tubi.
As Washington, D.C.'s premier host for conventions, sports, entertainment, and cultural events, having strong partners is essential. That's why we trust CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield as our partner. They provide exceptional health care coverage while standing with us in the community, giving back to the city we love. With a partner like Care First, our staff can bring the district's biggest moments to life.
The best new cars make the best used cars. So buy a Toyota certified used vehicle and find out just how far Toyota's reputation for legendary reliability can go. With protection from 2 factory-backed limited warranties, it's security, capability, and affordability only at your authorized Toyota dealer. Now get 4.99% financing on select certified used models. Toyota, let's go places.
Built for Monday.
Excuse Kelly, you guys haven't heard this though?
Born for Saturday. How it should be. Hyundai Santa Fe.
Get 1.99% APR or up to $3,500 customer cash on a Santa Fe or lease for $319 a month. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Mexico leads South Africa by a goal to nil thanks to Julian Quinones. Javier Guerrero's side are halfway towards picking up all 3 points in the opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm Jules Breach alongside Javier Hernandez and Peter Schmeichel here in Mexico City. When that goal went in, this place went wild. There was beer everywhere. Javier, how pleased are you with the start Mexico made?
Yeah, I was so pleased that the goal came before the 50-minute mark that we speak before the game. And as well, I want to point out that most of the goal is because Eric Luna. You know, apart that Citorne make a very bad decision turning around, the way that the holding midfielder from Mexico go and press the holding midfielder of South Africa was amazing. And then the composure of Quinones, like Thierry mentioned it, I think Quinones is in a very good form of that really well.
Looking ahead to the second half, Peter, what can South Africa do differently?
Well, the thing is, going 1-0 up so early in the game, I'm thinking 5-0. But then I think they've done really well, South Africa. And I think they need to believe a little bit more. They've had a couple of opportunities to counter. And they just, I mean, I hope the coach in the dressing room is telling them now, guys, there are opportunities here to counter this team. That's what they have to do.
Well, it will be absolutely massive if Mexico hold on to an opening victory here at the World Cup. Tomorrow, the United States will take centre stage. Christian Pulisic, Chris Richards and company are kicking off their campaign against Paraguay live on Fox. So here is the moment of the half, sponsored by Visa. You guessed it, it's the goal. Julian Quinones, who was born in Colombia but chose to represent Mexico with the opening goal at this World Cup, and fans of the Azteca are pretty happy about that. His 9th-minute strike has them ahead of South Africa. And this was the reaction to the goal at Zocalo Square in Mexico City. Incredible, the second 45 minutes from the opening match of the World Cup. This is up next.
This isn't the best seat in the house. This is. It's where you can watch Abuelita unleash your wrath. Where they don't kick you out after the game ends. Where you can get a second round without missing a second of the game. And where even the most bitter endings are followed by happy hours. A seat that any beer would love to have. And only the cerveza for football can. Modelo, the cerveza for football.
We practice this. Stick to the black. No impro, no theatrics. Just have the ball.
These players are doing whatever they want all the time. And we need to control it.
I knew you, I didn't know your name. I don't think that's a good idea. Come on! 5 minutes. Going down the field. About 3. You had 1.
Man, can we leave?
Did you know salsa was invented when Puerto Ricans took Cuban rhythms to New York? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was born when the Japanese took judo to Brazil. When North African frying traditions met Spanish dough, Spain made the churro. After Jamaicans took their sound systems to the UK, the world got punk. And this This is what the world gets when 48 nations meet to play one beautiful game.
Are you one of the millions surprised by rising prices? Well, AT&T just raised your rates. You have rights. Bring your phone to T-Mobile and they'll give you $400 when you switch. Plus, get T-Mobile's 5-year price guarantee on your experience plans. And I guarantee you won't look back. You can make predictions on anything.
Predictions? I'm the special one. I see things before they happen. This shot of crossbar. Midfield cross into heaven. You see him? On the way home, he'll get caught in the rain, and then his girlfriend will leave him. But he keeps the ball.
Wednesday, July 15th, who will be the nation's dumbest?
Spell guarantee. G-A. How is G-U?
12 celebrities. Yes, cool. Nation's Dumbest premieres Wednesday, July 15th on Fox.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is presented by Blaze.
Let's have another look at it one more time. Julian Quiñones, after 9 minutes, the first goal of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It put Mexico a goal up against South Africa. Great start for Mexico, and these are live shots coming to you from Mexico City Stadium. Thierry, Zlatan, Alexi were watching on that first half, and you were getting more angry, Thierry, at playing out in the back.
No, especially early doors when South Africa trying to they play the end of Mexico. The first 5-10 minutes, keep it quiet, play it long, and see where you can play on the other side, on the opposition side of the field, and they invite the pressure from Mexico. But be careful, Mexico, because if you don't make it 2-0, if it stays like that, watch out.
Well, Zlatan, they'll be disappointed, Zlatan, won't they? Mexico, they're not 2-0 up.
I mean, they had great chances in the first half. Probably they get some more chances now because I don't see South Africa changing their game plan from building up from behind. If you don't succeed with that, change the game a little bit, like Thierry said, like put the longer ball until you feel your opponent, but they were stubborn with their right gameplay, and that's it.
Okay, more from the chat till full-time. Stay with us. Until then, it's back to the very capable hands of Landon Donovan alongside Ian Dark.
Thank you very much indeed, Rebecca. Some very interesting half-time chat, and I think the guys got it right. Looking at the way that the match is just set up, how are you seeing it from here, Landon?
I'm curious now, I said it before the break, how South Africa approach this psychologically. Do they go after it, or are they, it's weird to say, I know, but are they content to stay 1-0 and maybe sneak a goal somewhere? And from Mexico's standpoint, it's less about honestly what the players want in. Will this crowd allow them to just take their foot off the pedal? I don't think so.
We shall see. Mexico have only lost 1 of 11 World Cup games when they led at half-time. That was back in 1978 against Tunisia. Nearly brought out there. Hidalgo here, got the opportunity, gets it right. Mira wanted that, and he was in space. If that had been pulled back to him. Oh, no. Howitzer from Gutierrez.
What are South Africa doing? You're a minute into the half. And boy, did they get lucky. Multiple chances here for Mexico. This one just taken a little too early from Gutierrez. I have no idea what Williams is doing there. After a phenomenal first half, he nearly ended the game there.
As the ref cam, you can see how fast the game is. It's good to just see the odd little cameo from that particular camera. You get an idea of how quick the decision-making has to be at this exalted level of the game. Hidalgo again is a bit of a pass picker in midfield, and I think every team needs one of those.
God, that was a big chance in for Mexico to go 2-0 up, and probably should have done a little better.
Lira had done really well coming from his defensive midfield position. He was waiting in space and the ball just wasn't pulled back to him. So that was a really big opportunity for Mexico to give themselves some clear water. Just to check on the teams. Going through there were no changes that we could see at half-time. What a sight that is for the players to be playing in an arena. Yes, it opened in 1966 with a game against Tottenham Hotspur. Quinones is not going to get here. He's seen the goalkeeper off his line and tried his luck. That's how big his confidence is at the moment.
Oh, he is loving it right now. Danced through a few South African players. Ambitious, yes, but I can't blame him right now.
Every World Cup you get a few breakout stars. Players nobody was talking about beforehand, that everybody's talking about a couple of weeks in. And she's one of the many attractive propositions as Alvarado latches onto the ball here for Mexico. I think the problem for South Africa is they just look a little porous at the back. And they're making mistakes. They get to the goal, really cross like the end, Foster dispossessed. They're looking for a moment of inspiration from somebody.
This game has opened up quite a bit to start the second half. I was not expecting to see that. Mexico might just put their foot on the ball a little bit here and calm down.
Don't forget the United States and South America going tomorrow against Paraguay. There'll be more details on that. Gutierrez is breaking
The only question here is going to be if he was onside or not. At first glance, it was very tight. But it looks like Satole is going to be shown the door.
It will be looked at, of course, by VAR. Maybe we can call Mark Clattenburg, our refereeing expert, in here. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, of course the VAR needs to check the offside initially, but it looks like it was onside. I think the defender actually cleared him on him. Now the question is, was it inside or outside? The referee was in a good position. He could clearly see that the contact was outside. And once he gets it outside, it's not a genuine attempt to clear the ball. And therefore, because it's outside, it will always be given as a red card for denying of an obvious score opportunity.
Yeah, look like that. I don't see that being reversed. Look at that.
There's a rugby tackle.
Yaya Sutole, your famous name, number Yaya Toure. But it looks like his World Cup debut is not hanging a red card here. It's just all being checked. Gutierrez, and then is sliced into well, more than the devil's head.
This is easy.
Yeah,
this is easy. Good job by South Africa, by the way. Keep their wall tight. Two blockers did their job. And now it gets really interesting. Mexico are going to have all the possession the rest of the way. South Africa again to be holding on for dear life.
They're going back from where it's really anyway. I've learned. School of London, Donovan. Two countries separated by the same language. Gutierrez again, he's pretty bright, isn't he? Got a good challenge at that time. The mountain just got a heck of a lot steeper for South Africa. Mathematics in these groups, 12 groups, top 2 through, 8 best places, you still could make it as long as you don't take a hammering in the first game. So maybe damage limitation might be part of South Africa's ploy from this point, but we shall see.
They're certainly down a point now. They have to think about that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hugo Broos makes some sort of substitution quickly here.
You need to. That was the third South African red card in various World Cup campaigns.
This feels like a game now for Hubert tomorrow to come into. A great way to introduce the 17-year-old other man. Not a lot of pressure, can go be creative and make plays. Which they're going to need to do at South Africa City now.
Never talk about Hubert overall. He was really good in the World Cup last summer, a breakout star. I think he's been carrying a little bit of injury, not much of one, so I'm told. He's a real talent. Not really to start this game, but he still might have a pretty big part to play at this World Cup. Kind of would say.
Yeah, a lot of times when you go up a player, up a man, a lot of coaches decide to just keep things as is. I was always of the opinion you need to make changes too, because the game is completely different now. Of course, South Africa will be thinking about that defensively, but from an attacking standpoint, Mexico should too. Don't win this game.
And South Africa on the attack, which has been something of a rarity in the game so far. Is Medina, who wants to run forward from left back usually, but there have been a few chances to do that. And this is Mexican's maybe letting in very few goals, although it should be said they do look a pretty well organised outfit, which is handy, always. But there is Medina. Young Harrow did make you kind of wonder for a moment.
I'd like to hear from Peter Schmeichel on this. My goalkeeper Tim Howard used to say too, the ball's moving like that and at altitude, it gets there a lot faster. And it's challenging and it's certainly tested one better.
There's an understanding QR code on the screen to go for the Michelin Ultra Superior player of the match. I think I know who the leading contender might be so far.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Well, we should leave the viewers on that. Enjoy the light. But here's a change. Midfield back and back that. So come on.
Yeah, again, that was predictable. And then, again, if I'm Javier Aguirre, don't be too conservative here. They're trying to get the second, third goals over here.
And the cross he missed out there is Jimenez. Jimenez was able to freshen up a good deal for this World Cup because he wasn't in the Fulham team that often on the run into the season. And of course, the Mexican team have been together since about May the 6th, I understand. A very long camp indeed. None of the players were allowed to play in the playoffs at the end of the season. They were told if they did, they wouldn't be in the World Cup squad. So Mexico are taking this very seriously. As they should, of course.
Yeah, obviously it's difficult for the clubs, right? And they hate it, but you have to take a big picture view of this. This is a massive opportunity, as it is for the U.S. and Canada, to show really well on home soil.
Showing ahead of these set pieces. Picked on by Reynolds and well defended that time by Ocon. The fact of the matter is so far though, London, South Africa have never seriously got into this contest. By the way, the white dashes you can see under the scoreline there are how many substitutes the two teams have left. Mexico, all 5. South Africa, 4. Just see it under the names. It's going to look quite high. I think in this World Cup for the first time they will be around with 32, so a treat of knockout football in the later stages to look forward to. You and I were looking at it earlier, Landon. If Mexico can be second in this group and the USA are second in their group, they play each other. So that's up. Yeah. 2A, B2B. It's written there in the round of 32, but of course both teams are hoping to drop their group. And Mexico need the right kind of start. Still looking for that second goal here. Quinones with a deep ball. See what the idea was.
Yeah, you can see the development to overrun with a good late run. Again, patience will help Mexico just pulling South Africa apart, and one just got away from Quinones a little bit.
Talking of the USA, and getting against Paraguay, which has been spoken about for so long now. That's live tomorrow on Fox with coverage showing at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. on the West Coast Pacific Time. Think they'll win, Andy?
I do think they'll win. I was at the final friendly against Germany on Saturday. I know they lost. I was encouraged, and I see what the crowd here is getting for this Mexico team, and I expect the same tomorrow night for our U.S. team.
I'm looking forward to that game. I think if the USA do win, that might spread a little bit of football further around the nation. You think so?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just did happen. I remember when you scored that goal in 2010. After that, there were stories of people getting off work early in Wall Street to go around and watch the matches.
I apologize to the bosses.
See you later. Substitution here, experienced playmaker, Zwane, and it's going to be introduced in the place of Jake Mullins, who's, in all honesty, really got into the limelight. Zwane is an old campaigner, Mamalolo's standout player, broke his 56 cap here today. When he's raced to be fit, and a player who can influence the game, so I think he's been brought on with the idea of getting possession further forward and making something happen. See if he can. 36 now.
To be honest, Ian, I'm a bit disappointed with the way Mexico have approached this since the red card. It's a little too casual. feel like the game's over. It may be, but all it takes is one moment, and I'd like to see them go get the second and third goal. And you can hear it good from the crowd too. They're not happy about this. And we're 1-0.
It's a real go for the challenge on the go. Guillaume's leads his innocence.
Stares foot high and lights up, but certainly a foul.
Nothing to make a big drama out of, really. Nobody even trying, in fairness. Mexico scored a great goal against Saudi Arabia at the last World Cup. It's not great. Here we go. Come on, going out in the middle of the pitch. They didn't hope it's South Africa here. Has the time to cross. It's really close to the problem for them. Half-hearted penalty it was. Usually the streets are pretty packed with traffic around Mexico City. I would say they are deserted. Everybody is hooked on this game. And that, delightfully, is one of the great things about the World Cup. And all 48 nations, they're come to a standstill when their teams are playing.
And I would say, all those people watching are not happy right now. I'm not hearing blue screen from you.
Yeah, look at it. A little bit of restless that can happen sometimes with
this one of the photographs, just after halftime, I was saying, well, the crowd allowed them to take their foot off. They won't. Nor should they. You never know what can happen, and goal differential matters in all this. Being up a player at home for 45 minutes, you have to be better than this.
Just a feeling they're rather sitting on the lead at the moment. Lost the ball a few times. Gutierrez clever little ball to come out. Come back as the inverted fullback there from left back, coming up in the inside left channel. Modern coaches love that tactic. .65 gone. Mexico 1, South Africa 0. Two more changes. Luis Chavez, I mentioned to you. And also, Gilberto Mora. This is what the crowd wanted to see. The 17-year-old who is the youngest player on this World Cup. I think he come on and liven up Mexico a little more.
Yeah, that's what should happen and would happen. It's a perfect type of game for him.
He's a player who could give Mexico a little of the X factor they might need if they want to go deep in this World Cup. Here's Lira. He's going to be different. Good for Edson Alvarez to get back in the side. Lira seems to have taken over that role. Jimenez does what his Jimenez again. Ramos crossing.
Starts with Raul Jimenez. Through that man, Quinones again. Jimenez follows his run into the box. Easy header for him. And you can see what it means to him. Tears all around. Could not be happier for him. 2-0 Mexico.
Soaked in tears, Raul Jimenez. This is the player whose life was in danger after he fractured his skull playing for Wolves against Arsenal a few years ago. He's come back from that. Here he is starting for the first time in the World Cup and scoring as well. And that leads to the hydration break. Power TV Power.
How could you not love this game?
Fans are happy again. Really happy. Mexico are on their way in this World Cup. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup. And wow, thousands of Verizon. Hey, that's the free Verizon tickets too? No, I'm with amazing seats. I'm sorry. Okay, and even kids sign access. Where are you? David Beckham, Verizon customer. This used to be the plan. Now it's the Verizon customers. No one gets you closer than Verizon.
What would you like to follow with you? Your passion for this game opens opportunities. For them? For our local businesses? For the community. Because when local businesses thrive, the community also thrives. Bank of America, champions of everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Okay, buckle up. We're going to a game. 3-on-3. No referee, no rules. 2 rules. Exactly. Who you play? The local crew. Right. This local crew, they've been watching since 1996. That's when people say started. They beat everyone who showed up. Kids. Bigger kids. The Tigers, even the Blazers. Anyone, anytime. 3 real times. People get power. But this crew took them down. Everybody knows. J'ai entendu dire que c'était une sorte de magie. C'est cher. No, it's all true. Who's up next? We'll give you a team.
Welcome back, South Africa. You know the danger here is turning into a damaging defence. That Andres Power for you. 20 minutes remaining, and South Africa down to 10 players onto the red card for Yaya Sitole. It's 1994, and they were beaten by Norway. Incidentally, I got my group B's and group D's next up with USA next World Cup for West. Okay, that's fine. I was excited. I think it's called a full scrum, isn't it? You get the pass out. We're getting it's a great ball. Quinones again, Jack starting to appear in nice. But the flag's gone up there. A bit later, look. Of course, that's another thing at this World Cup. They've got a wristband on at the referee's assistants, and it will vibrate as an offside if a player's even 10 centimetres offside. So that will stop the delayed flags in theory. Must be happy, mustn't he? Having a year 67 years of age now. Said a lot of good things at his press conference yesterday. These players having a chance to really work themselves into football folklore. Jimenez has got another opportunity. Just the referee. He was right from the scene, to be fair, and made an instant decision. Jimenez stays down.
Now this is a tough one. Jimenez does a good job to keep himself on side. I don't think they can give a penalty for this. Certainly a lot of contact from Sidisi. He goes with his shoulder, that's going to be legal. Doesn't feel good though.
Let's call him Mark Dunbar. What did you think, Mark?
Yeah, it looks like the defender's going to go in with his shoulder, and I think the attacker then turns his body to make it look like it's shoulder to body. But I think there's two players committed to the ball, and they always correct, not to any other decision, other than the referee's decision. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. Secretary Winfrey penalty awarded.
Hi guys, welcome back.
The yellow card awarded for Savisi this time. He's much involved in the action.
I figured he got away with the last one a little bit. At least earning a yellow card if you're going to do it. And the frustration starting to show now for South Africa. They need to be careful and set it over and over, but cannot let this get away from you.
There was a high elbow that the referee didn't like there. That's what happened up against France in 1998. That was the year, of course. France went on to lift the crown. As well, very, very threatening attacking lineup. Then, of course, by doing another. Gallardo. Mexico to rub salt in the wounds here. Pushing the ball around with sudden confidence. Jimenez. Broken up by Ocon. Can they give the ball away? A little challenge for that under penalty, that was. You need a lot more free kick for South Africa. Later tonight, it is through on Fox Sport 1. South Korea and Czechia facing off in Guadalajara. Coverage starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. Two more changes coming up for South Africa. The winning Oswin Apollos is one of those to be introduced, and evidence Mark Roper, who did score in the AFCON Championships. Too late against Cameroon. And Gonzalo Alvarez, the captain, who is 100th cap. The fans know about this as well, giving a big round of applause. Black switch, and Jimenez makes way to Reynolds off and Oliva off. And that goes for those two South African substitutes. The scoreline denoting how many substitutes are left for the coaches, and it's a 3-game right now, of course. But this is the perfect start for Mexico in sacred home of the Azteca. They've only ever lost 2 competitive games here. And you know how tough it is to play here, Landon.
When they're playing well, in the altitude, and you're chasing the ball, and the crowd's behind, it just feels like a battle you can't win, and you see that in South Africa today. They had some moments of optimism, but in the end, the quality came through from Mexico. And now the question is, how bad will it get for South Africa, and how good will it get for Mexico?
And with a win here, they'll surely already have 1 foot in the knockout rounds. And from Mexico, to launch their next attack, that's just playing alongside. Shadows spotted one. And they're now going on. Celebratory atmosphere, to put it mildly, around Mexico City today. This game kicking off at 1 p.m. local time, so there's plenty of time to celebrate. AD1S gets a big round of applause for the score that he's made today in the post as well, and this is going on.
AD1S is doing the best player in that field today. And as you said earlier, Mexico continue like this, and he continues like this. He could be one of the breakout stars of this tournament.
He's not going on. Great high press is going on. So now he's going to put it off down, but this time the referee pulls it back. Good work on Mora. He was a bit disappointed. And the referee blew his whistle there.
That's a really poor call.
Yeah.
More than nothing.
There's that press again. And then now the three South African players are not that good playing out from the back. Around the world try to copy it. Not every team's got the players to pull it off.
Well, that's the problem, Ian, is very few can do it at that level. And South Africa put themselves in a hole early, and nearly at the beginning of the second half, made the hole even deeper.
There's that Hollis. Playing off his right foot rotation, it's all right. Makes an immediate impact. A lot of people thought he might make the starting round, now he didn't.
Well, there are 2 problems here. Alvarado down. And I think it might be Vega also, who stretched to block that. There you see Alvarado getting run into Botswana. I think the big issue right now is Vega, who just came on the field.
It's not his okay. Many obviously players injured in the World Cup. It's such a pain about the players who is heartbreaking for those players who miss out with an injury and training just before the championships, which unfortunately does happen.
Apologies, I don't think there wasn't better than England Reyes. Either way, it's both were okay.
Gonzalez. Goes for Chivas. Look at Max.
Last
last 2 minutes here. And the referee coming across to just check on something here.
Yeah, it was the play here against Reyes, and that's why he was down. Or not Reyes, sorry, Alvarado. Or a little bit of a left hand there to the face. This could get worse for South Africa. Yeah. There. Off the ball. Comes one, I think it is. Yeah, I think he might get set up there.
Let's bring it back to on this.
Yeah, what the referee has to look at is the act violent and malicious? Because what you do see is the arms make a fist clench as he goes past his opponent, and then he makes a secondary resolve towards his opponent's fist. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a violent act and a red card to be issued.
The consultation's taking place, and we're going to get the referee's decision straight away. This could get a lot worse for South Africa. Interpretation of what he saw there. And Suarez, the veteran playmaker, has to go. Agree with that, London?
I do, and you could see the intent as he swept by Alvarado. Just gives him that last slap really in the face, and just can't get away with that anymore. Cameras everywhere. There has to be some of them.
And then they went on. Tonight, the premiere of World Cup 2026 after hours with James Corden on Fox after midnight local. So this is challenge. Nothing wrong with that. But that paper was kind of looking for a career, to be honest with you. Closing stages here of the opening game. There are always talking points, and the two red crowds will be two of the biggest here. Not much doubt about the first one. The second one, probably a little bit more arguable. And with London, he's given the referee a decision to make with that.
And this has all been self-inflicted by South Africa. The first goal getting away with two red cards. Falling asleep on the first red card and having to track down a player. They're going to have to regroup quickly because they're a big hole now. And they absolutely need something out of the second match.
Second game for them against Churchill in Atlanta on the 18th. Mexico plays South Korea and Guadalajara next. Good break between the fixtures for the players to refresh, refocus. Mexico's mood will only brighten, and they keep 9 games unbeaten now in all competitions. But forget the friendlies, this is the one that matters. Vasquez, with an armchair right back there for those defenders today. Now that's his go back. Gallardo for the inside. Muller, trying to get his Chavez, going into the game. The 17-year-old, he can sense it every time he gets the ball. Already a big favourite of the Mexican fans. Martin's ball is inaccurate. I mean, there's no way of wrapping this up. South Africa up in poor today, Brandon.
Yeah, they have it. It was unlike of their form coming into the game. You see here, yeah, you can see the left arm there. It's one hand. It's been reminiscent of their form coming into the tournament. And they've had some moments where they could have taken advantage of the Mexican defense. And yeah, as you said, they've just been too poor.
And the ruthless fact of the matter is the other teams in this group will see South Africa now as a chance to plot 3 points. And of course, those 2 players who've got the red card will be suspended for the next game. This doesn't help. Can just break people are really here now. Right, Reyes is okay now after that 11-7. Manuel Gonzalez stayed down. Hopefully get a free kick. It's going the other way. Even before the game, and I might be reading too much into this, I was watching South Africa warm up, and they looked a bit flat during that as well. Not like a team about to play an exciting game like the World Cup. And I think that has been reflected in the performance here.
Yeah, I said early on in the game, their body language was poor as well. The ball would turn over, a bad pass, and players were quite disappointed, throwing their arms up, and they don't look like a good collective team right now.
It's Alvarez. He's the header. He's the captain of the team, even though he was left out of the 11. There's no sentiment when it comes to selection. And coach picks the 11 players he thinks can do the job, and you have to say he got that right. By the way, Raul Jimenez with his goal moved equal in the all-time Mexican scoring list with Jared Borghetti, who scored at the World Cup himself. Level on 46 goals, and of course Chicharito, who's with us today, good to see him, still leads the way.
He'll be a happy guy today, Ian.
52 for him. So popular around here, he needs a disguise, I think. Luis Chavez. Very relaxed Mexico. Likewise, their huge support here. Well, it's been a sea of green, the Azteca. Correction, the whole city's been a sea of green. Gonzalez lays it back. Against 9 men here, they can just keep passing the football. Always somebody free. Piece of cake. There you go. I'm going to get in on the scoring act. A World Cup goal is a World Cup goal after all. Mudau here needs a bit of support. Taken out of it by Montez, and that's got to be a card. What are they protesting about, the Mexican players? There's absolutely no case at all.
Although I did see the referee go to his back pocket initially. Oh, wow. Wow.
Stacey Montez, red card. Let's bring Mark in again on that. What did you see there, Mark?
First of all, what it has to be is it has to be a goal scored opportunity. And what three elements that the referee is looking at is the position of the ball. Does the attacker have control over the ball? Yes, he does. Is the ball going towards the goal? There could be a slight doubt because it does change slightly direction. But when you look at the replay again, that attacker can easily get onto the ball and be 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. And there's no covering defender. So I can understand why the referees did that. And there's split opinions because the ball does slightly change direction. But I believe that this attacker could easily have got on to the end of that ball and have a 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. So I believe the referee was right to commission the ball. You think it was a clear scoring opportunity, Mark? Does the attacker control the ball? Is it the covering defenders and the really angle the ball changes direction? But if the angle of the ball doesn't change that much towards the ball, it's very easy to get onto the ball and have a 1-on-1 chance with the ball. That's a great time. Against our good friends in Mavericks, always protects the backfield a bit. That's a hard strike. I can't see that being a goal. He's like a presidential differ. He's right. He is a different. But, well, look, he knows the image of it. He says he's the one who's right at the top level. I've played a lot of games. I've never seen that. I'm not arguing that. He knows what he's doing. Very definitely wasn't a scoring opportunity because they left up a free kick. Well, who'd have thought it? And is that an indication that the referees are certainly not going to be shy and probably very hard line in their approach to things at this World Cup? We'll see.
Well, this referee, the Brazilian referee, is known for being pretty strict. And so you got to know that coming into the game as well. But again, I just feel that's harsh. That did not look like a red card to me.
Is Matt Gopa for South Africa apologies? And they're not going out. After everything that's happened, South Africa might almost take 2-0 and hope they can repair the damage somewhere else. Playing 9 players, Mexico's team, I think second for this scoreline. Looks like that anyway, unless they give them another one in what is it, 7 minutes at a time. There might be a bit more on it. The first opening match ever at the World Cup with 3 red cards. I'm unsurprised to learn that. Sabisi. Putting his heart in his mouth after challenging the manager earlier on. I think they went for that one and waving away the penalty appeal. So that's Montez out of the next game. For Mexico, they might give a chance for Alvarez to come into the starting line. Maybe he's at the back. Yeah. Do that occasionally. Clock ticks around 96th minute. We're nearly done here. The World Cup is up and underway. Make no mistake, there will be shots along the way. There always are. Hey, there were shots in the qualifying tournament. Italy aren't here again. Chase this down. He's got Gonzalez waiting in the middle for a cross. One of the highest quality cross. And here's Apolis for South Africa. The game very stretched now. Mudau. Thought he was taken out. Referee let that go. Still down. and in pain. It's a long way back from where South Africa are right now in this World Cup.
Well, I guess we'll find out, Ian, right? You were discussing this earlier. Can 3 points get you through as a third-place team, potentially? Certainly 4 you think would do it, but you never know.
The referee's playing for time. Again with 3 red cards for pushing 2 goals for Mexico to get them up to a winning start. The first time they've ever won a World Cup opener. Ibanez and then Jimenez. 3 points Mexico, none, and a heap of trouble for South Africa. Let's get it back to Rebecca Lowe in Los Angeles.
That's right, Susan. It is very hot out here, and it just...
Thanks to Ian Dark and to Landon Donovan. The Group A standings then. What a start for Mexico. Top of Group A, of course. 3 points on the board, 2 goals scored. South Africa starting their campaign off with a defeat as we take you back onto the field in Mexico. What a way to start. The first time, by the way, in 20 years that a team has had 3 red cards in a World Cup match. Last of the World Cup in 2006. So let's see how this starts. Watching on, and let's see what comes to you first. As expected from Mexico in the end.
Whether they're 11 men, 10 men, or 9 men, just announce a good opponent. But from Mexico's perspective, this is exactly what they're going to roll right out. You get your win, you get your 3 points, you make a point, and everybody's honest. All the other teams, including the U.S. Soccer, which is a commanding performance from Mexico. Wonderful run now, proud. And interesting way to kick off the World Cup.
Let's listen in for a second. Okay, gentlemen, while Raul Jimenez is amongst the scorers today, it's the 46th of his international career. He is now just 6 behind Javier Fernandez for the Mexico record.
He's an unexpected guest in his house. Not a problem. Carl looks like he can eat.
He's a machine. This is why I'm no longer a quest member. Groceries delivered for me today.
You guys seen what I'm saying?